Welcome to the Seth Thibodeaux Show, featuring the head coach of Nicholls State University Baseball, Seth Thibodeaux. Today's program is presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, dedicated to patient-centered excellence. The Seth Thibodeaux Show is also sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And by People's Health, your Medicare health team. Good afternoon and welcome to the season debut of the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. I'm your host, Mike Wagenheim. We're 2 weeks into the Southland Conference play, and Nicholls holds sole possession of first place in the league. It's been a fun ride so far. Our own Alex Tullis got us caught up.
As the Nicholls baseball team approaches the mid-season mark, they stand at 5-1 in Southland Conference play and hold an overall record hovering around the 500 mark. The Colonels are on track for a winning season, and a Southland Conference title is on the table. As the season progresses, there is a great deal of optimism among this year's squad. They are slowly evolving in their game, both offensively and defensively. While they are a work in progress, it is clear that the Colonels are a force to be reckoned with.
We've had a heck of a schedule so far, and we're slowly becoming a team that we worked really hard to be. And we're not quite there yet, but that's okay. It's not the right time to be there yet, but I do want to see us playing a little more consistent baseball as a whole.
The Colonels have seen steady improvement, none more evident than on defense. Keeping this momentum is key to winning ball games.
We're playing really good defense, really all throughout. Our outfielders have made some great plays. We've really shored up our defense there. We're leading the Southland Conference in double plays turns, so I like what we're doing on the infield as well, and we're doing a pretty good job on the plate, so we have the makings of becoming pretty good defensively.
The pitching staff has excelled this season with strong performances from its starters and bullpen alike. Backed up by a strong infield that seems to make the big plays when they need them most, the Colonel pitchers are getting the job done and getting off of the field.
We have a really good bullpen. Coach Protho's done a really good job of putting our guys in really important roles. They understand their roles. When you understand your role in this game, your job becomes really simple.
The pitchers have been great so far this season. They continue to just get the job done and continue to fill up the zone and get us ground balls, which is one of the things that we love being an infielder.
This year's team has had its share of extra inning games, adding pressure to the players and coaching staff, both mentally and physically. The challenge of winning one of those contests often comes down to one clutch play.
I think we're all motivated to get it done. We're just looking for that one time for it to happen. And we just need somebody to step up and be a big-time player and get it done for us. And it's going to happen. We have talent all around this team. Anybody can do it at any given moment.
The Colonels have come a long way since losing their opening series at Houston. They have seen all-around improvements in their game and have become a well-rounded and confident baseball team. They realize there's still much work to be done over these next 2 months. For the Seth Thibodeaux Show, I'm Alex Tullis.
Thank you very much, Alex. Folks, coming up on the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, we'll be joined in studio by head coach Seth Thibodeaux to take a look at the series from this past weekend. That and more coming up on the other side. We'll be back in just a moment.
You may know Thibodaux Regional was the first hospital in the region to take a leadership role in athletic safety. But did you know they're the only hospital in the region to offer advanced concussion testing technology? That their certified athletic trainers assist high schools with team event coverage, and that they provide prevention education to coaches, athletes, and parents? TJ Boudreau knows they're here for athletes of all ages. Parents, coaches, and athletes know Thibodaux Regional Medical Center for expert, compassionate care.
Back here with you on the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, joined here by the head coach of the Colonels, Seth Thibodeaux. Welcome to the program, my friend.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
Glad we finally get a chance to chat.
It's good to talk some baseball.
I'll tell you, heck of a start in Southland Conference play here for the Colonels, and the team was picked to finish around 8th in the league this year. And surprising the Southland right now, but I know you're not surprised.
We're not surprised, and we know there's a lot of mountain left to climb, but we're excited about where we're at right now, but we have to stay humble and continue to press on.
What's been the key to the good start so far?
Pitching and defense and some timely hitting has been important, and that's how you win championships, and our guys are getting there, and we haven't played our best baseball. which is exciting. But, you know, we have to continue to stay humble and continue to move on.
You know, the last couple of years, you've really had to dig yourself out of a hole, got off to a rough start in Southland playing. The last 3 years, it's literally come down to the final day of the regular season to figure out if you were going into the tournament or going home. This year, off to a great start. Keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely. Our players don't want to play that way anymore. They want to make sure that they take care of their business, and they understand that every single game counts.
Well, let's take a look at what transpired this past weekend. Vincent Beck Stadium in Beaumont lingered in the minds of the Colonels all summer. It was the place where their postseason dreams died on the final day of the regular season last year. They were looking to put the past behind them and find some success against Lamar, a team against which the Dirty Red have taken just one series in the previous 12 years. The Cardinals were picked to finish second in the Southland this year by the league's coaches. Here we go, Friday night. Nichols facing Lamar righty Will Hibbs. Top of the second, David Zorn at the plate. He had so many productive at-bats over the weekend. Bases loaded, one out. His fly ball scores Charles Morton, and Nichols grabs a 1-0 lead. Zorn notched an RBI single later in the game as well. Aggressive base running here as everybody moves up. Into the third we go. Keith Cormier delivered a one-out double. Then it's Mark Frazier's turn, belting one down the line in left. The two-bagger chases in Cormier. 2-0 Colonels. Cormier went 3 for 5 with a double and an RBI as well. Bottom of the third inning, Taylor Bird, the Colonel ace, on the bump. He induces the double play ball off the bat of Jude Vidrine. Nichols leading the league in double plays, turn amongst the best in the nation in that category right now. Bird held Lamar to 6 hits over his 6 innings of work. He pitched to contact, but he also picked up 3 strikeouts along the way, including a pair in the 5th. He mows down Wayne Stanley. Bird stranded 7 runners in his 6 frames. He keeps Lamar off the scoreboard, and the offense and bullpen does the rest. John Satriano and Stuart Holmes combined to go the final 3 innings, fanning 5 between them. Cormier and Zorn each registered an RBI hit late. The Colonels win it 4-0, their 3rd shutout of the year. Kyle Markham had a couple of hits for the Cardinals. Coach, I'll tell you, the Colonels really set the tone for that series on Friday night.
They did, and our starting pitching from Taylor Bird was fantastic. We took care of the baseball defensively and did what we needed to do offensively to take care of business, but the entire weekend it seemed to be able to play out like it did on Friday night.
And it all starts with the starting pitching, as it does throughout college baseball. And that was really a question mark coming into the year. The only player you really returned in the starting staff was Taylor Bird with any kind of experience. Right. And then you lose your closer, lost a couple of setup men. Really didn't know what to expect this year. It's turned out to be the strength of this club.
It has, and they've been consistent all year long. And our Coach Prothro has done a great job with teaching these guys a role, and these guys have bought into their role. We did lose over 300 innings on the mound, but we felt like we were a little more talented coming in, maybe a little more gritty and a little more tough, so we knew we had something there, and it's certainly been there for us all year long.
Well, we expected some bad weather in Beaumont on Saturday, so the clubs, or on Sunday rather, so the clubs played a doubleheader on Saturday instead. Let's go to game 1. We're scoreless until the bottom of the 5th. The Colonels' Grant Bourne surrenders an RBI double to Sam Bumpers before Jude Vidrine records the RBI single here. Bourne lasted 7 1/3 innings, though, giving up 4 runs on 6 hits with 8 punch-outs. Nichols scored an unearned run in the 6th to make it 2-1. Then in the 8th, they get a 2-run hit from Christian Correa off reliever Danny Fernandez. It's part of a 3-run frame. Brandon Jackson drew a bases-loaded walk as well. Correa would be put out on the bases here, but the Colonels now up by a score of 4-2. Lamar strikes back, though. After Bourne hit Vidrine with a pitch, Jacoby Middleton goes the other way. It's an RBI triple. Bourne had fanned Middleton 3 times earlier in the game. That was it for Grant. Mark Picciola came on to strike out the final 2 batters in the inning, but a wild pitch allowed Middleton to score the tying run. So into the top of the 9th, a hit and a walk started a 2-out rally, and Charles Morton would punctuate it. A 2-run double off of lefty Lance Warren, scoring Cormier and Frazier 6-4 Colonels. One of 2 hits in the game here from Morton, and that bench is fired up. It's up to Picciola to try to close this game out. He would get Mason Salazar to hit into a 6-3 double play. That's your ball game. 6-4 Colonels. Another 3-hit game for Cormier. Chase Angel pitched well in his start for the Cardinals, but took a no decision. Again, just a gritty effort there in the 9th inning. You had nobody on with 2 outs in a tie ball game, and yet you produced 2 runs. the offense, you've been waiting for them to come through for a long time. This was the weekend where the light finally clicked on it.
Sure, and our guys played fantastic in the tough innings of the baseball game in the 7th, 8th, and the 9th inning. And for us to get the big hit like that in a big moment on the road, it's what you have to do to win on the road in conference. And Charles Morton delivered a big blow, but it was a setup before that made things work. And so I was proud to see that. Our guys were determined to get that win. Chase Angel was really good against us. He kept us off balance. He forced us to do things that we didn't want to do. But our guys gritted it out, so to speak, and one game, one of that doubleheader right there with determination. I was very happy to see that.
You know, Alex talked earlier in the show about several extra inning games you've gone into this year and just close games overall. You fell 1-0 to Tulane. That's a good ball club right there. UL Lafayette is ranked #1 in the nation right now. You took the lead on them into the 7th inning one night, then took them into extra innings the next night, took LSU down to the wire, another top 10 team. You've really been setting the table. This was the weekend, though, that you finally were able to bust through, but we knew it was there. We knew the team was capable of it.
Absolutely. We're battle tested. Our schedule has been a very strong one with the University of Houston and BYU in there and all the midweek games and the games leading up to conference. So we've been in those moments before, and it's been a challenge to our team to make sure they deliver the blow, and their opportunity was this weekend, and it meant more than any other game we were in tight, and they delivered in a big way.
So you clinch the series with Game 1 on Saturday. Nichols going for the series sweep on Saturday evening. It wouldn't take long to get going. Top of the first, Frazier facing spot starter JT Autry. 2 on, 1 gone, and Frazier sends his offering over the right field wall. His first long ball of the year. It scores Leo Vargas and Cormier. 3-0 Colonels. Autry would work in and out of trouble over the next 3 innings. The Colonels collected 33 hits in this series. After starting the first 2 games of the set in center field, Brandon Jackson was on the hill for the finale. He goes 7 strong, giving up a run on 9 hits with a walk and 4 Ks, one of them coming at the expense of Jacoby Middleton there in the 5th. Top of the 6th, Seth Stevens up to bat in a pinch hitting role. He entered the game 0 for 15, but that changes here. The single to right, David Zorn trying to score from second. He gets around the tag, 4-0 Nichols. Zorn, by the way, with a big weekend, 5 for 11 with a double and 3 batted in. Mason Salazar doubled in a run for Lamar in the 6th. We go to the 7th. Bases loaded, 1 out for Tyler Duplantis. The comebacker off the leg of Jason McKinley into right field. He scores Vargas and Cormier with a base knock. Zorn would later ground in Morton. 7-1 Colonels at the stretch. It was 8-1 going into the bottom of the 9th, but Lamar would make it tough. They scored 5 runs before the second out. Reed Seeley with a base hit off of Picciola, plating Vidrine and Middleton. Seeley with 4 hits in the contest. Jake Sutton would add an RBI single, and we got an 8-6 ball game here. Tying run on first with 2 outs. Justin Eccles at the plate. He led off the frame with a double, but Picciola gets him fishing, and Nichols hangs on for the 8-6 win and the sweep of Lamar on the road. Coach, it was very telling. On the bus on the way back, the players were almost disappointed that they didn't put Lamar away early in that 9th inning. You had to remind them, hey, we just got a sweep on the road. But that's the mentality of this team right now. Yeah. They're greedy, and that's a good thing.
I want our players to be greedy, and they were disappointed, and they didn't finish the way that we talk about finishing, and that is a sign. That's a great sign. And so I did have to remind them, hey guys, we just swept. Don't forget that on the road. It's a tough environment. So, but I'm happy that that's where their mind is at, and that they're not a complacent club by any means. And so, but again, we've got to stay hungry and humble and continue the drive up the mountain.
Yeah, Mark Picciola had a blown save in that first game, though he picked up the win. That wild pitch sent it into the 9th inning, but came back strong in that second contest. Good sign of a closer.
Absolutely, and it's what he does, and it's who he is, and he's a great leader for our team, a team captain, and our guys rely on him and lean on him and look to him for guidance and leadership and trust, and he continues to bring that to the ballpark every single day.
What a turnaround. You know, we left last year driving away from Beaumont. The season was over. Another final day finale for the Colonels and going home instead of going to the Southland tournament. To turn around, just a couple weeks into the Southland season, go in there and sweep, it feels like a new day, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Those guys had just beat the University of Houston, who's ranked in the top 20 in the country on Tuesday night. And so they are a good baseball club with a nice record and some big wins early in the season. But I felt like when we walked out there on Friday for BP, I looked at a couple of returners and I said, boys, this is redemption weekend. It just had a nasty feeling in my heart when we walked out there because, it wasn't too long ago where we left that park and it was the end of our season. And a couple other guys felt the same way. So they were determined, and you saw that in their play.
33 hits this weekend, and the offense has really struggled through the early portion of the season. We've been waiting for that to come around. This was the weekend where it finally did, and you look at this ball club right now, if this team can simply scratch across 4 or 5 runs on an average night, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
We're going to be in great shape, and we're going to continue to get there offensively. We're not very far away. We just need to make sure we keep a couple guys healthy, and we will. But as long as we're pitching and playing defense and turning double plays like we are, and we're going to continue to have an opportunity to do something special. So we just know that when our offense starts clicking on all cylinders, we have a chance to be a dominant club.
When you send Seth Stevens up there in a pinch hit role, he's 0 for 15 on the year and he gets an RBI single. It makes you look pretty smart.
Absolutely. A good player and a good swing makes a coach look really good sometimes.
All right, the Colonels sweeping Lamar on the road. Folks, we'll be back with much more here with Coach Tib in just a moment's time. Stay with us. You're tuned in to the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. Back here with you on the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. Coach, you got Oral Roberts on the docket coming up this weekend, a strong baseball team perennially. What do you make of them so far this year?
Well, they're going to be a good club just like everyone in our league. Doesn't matter 1 through 14, everyone's going to bring their A game every weekend. So what I do know is they can pitch it in spots, and they've got an offensive club that can do some things. And they beat University of Oklahoma last night 3-0. So they're going to be a club that's going to come in and be hungry because they started out the season, losing their first 2 series, and they're 2-4 right now. So they're going to be a hungry ball club coming into our place, and we've got to be ready for the challenge.
Well, Southland, known as maybe the strongest FCS football conference, but this is no joke in baseball either, and we've seen it so far this year. Sam Houston went to Central Arkansas this past weekend. The Bearcats were ranked 22nd in the country. They dropped that series. It's a topsy-turvy league. You got to come ready to play.
Every single weekend you've got to be prepared because everyone's hungry for this, and everyone believes that they've got a shot. So it's a wide-open league. And we've got to make sure that we're hungry, and because the team that we're going to play every weekend is going to be hungry as well, and we've got to make sure that we continue to take care of our business and be prepared for the weekend.
Well, coming up this weekend, we've got complete coverage of Nichols baseball on the Colonel Sports Radio Network, presented by your local Super Chevy dealers. The Colonels host Oral Roberts, a 3-game Southland set. You can catch the Friday night and Saturday night games on KNSU 91.5 FM. Both of those games get underway at 6 o'clock. Sunday's finale with the Golden Eagles is set for 1 p.m. and can be heard on KTIB 640 a.m. Tuesday night's matchup against Southern will also air live on KTIB. It's time to announce our Rouse's Student Athlete of the Week. You're either local or you're not. Louisiana's Best can be found at your local Rouse's or at rouses.com. This week, it's All-American Jamie Springer. This senior from Alberta, Canada, took the gold in the javelin at the Texas Southern Relays in Houston on Saturday. Her throw went 148 feet 5 inches. It's her second gold in a row. She now has won 10 individual outdoor championships over her brilliant career with Nichols. The Colonels had 7 top 10 finishes as a team this past weekend. For a complete recap of the week that was in Nichols athletics, here's Tiffany Williams.
Throughout the department, the Colonels have had an overall winning week of competition. The softball team started out a bit shaky but worked their way to victory by the end of the weekend. The tennis team also served up a mix of wins and losses, but overall each club came out on top. The softball team came home with a win last weekend against Sam Houston. While the first 2 games ended in defeat for the Colonels, the team came out victorious during the series finale by a score of 8-3. The Colonels' next matchups will begin Saturday at 1 p.m. at Incarnate Word. Meanwhile, the women's tennis team had a victorious week of competition, landing their 4th straight win with a score of 5-2 against Central Arkansas on Sunday. The men's tennis team had a couple wins last week with victories over Tyler Junior College and New Orleans. However, the team fell at Mississippi State for love on Sunday. Head coach Manashi Sundaram spoke about their performance last weekend.
Some of the guys played good matches, some of them not so good, but we fought hard. It's a learning experience when you play the ranked schools. Something to take home and work on.
Both the men and women's tennis teams are preparing for competition against Incarnate Word on Saturday. Matchups begin at 10 a.m. here in Thibodaux. For the Seth Thibodeaux Show, I'm Tiffany Williams.
Thank you very much, Tiffany. Here's what else is on tap for Nichols Athletics this weekend. On Saturday, the volleyball team starts their spring season at Louisiana Lafayette, taking part in a tournament there. As Tiffany mentioned, the men's and women's tennis teams play host Incarnate Word, while the softball team visits UIW for a Southland doubleheader. On Sunday, softball wraps up their series in San Antonio, while the women's tennis team takes on Texas A&M Corpus Christi right here in Thibodaux. Coach, I know the baseball team, one of the most spirited clubs on campus, and they are seen everywhere. No matter what athletic event is going on, we always see baseball players there, and it's great that they support what else is going on.
Absolutely. Our guys enjoy their university, and they take great pride in it, and they want to do great things. And it's important for us to be around the community and around this campus and be great leaders. That's what they're asked to do when they're recruited here, and they come in with the expectation to do that. And our players really enjoy going over to elementary schools and having PE with the younger kids there, and those kids look up to them. It's important to them. When we do our Dixie Youth Clinic we did that last week, and to have 500 kids, just looking up to your players, it's a special feeling for our players and the youth in the Thibodaux area. So we enjoy that. We embrace it. We think that we're leaders for this university and this community, and it's something that we look forward to every semester here.
I think the community recognizes that as well.
Absolutely, and you see that when they return the favor when they're at your ballpark, or they come to your games. The support from this area has been amazing this year. It's been a lot of fun, and it's a special time in my players' lives, and so I want them to cherish that experience forever and to meet great people, because this area is made up of a great group of people that are very hard work and determined type people. So we want to embrace that and play that way as well, and we want to in return be that type of club as well. And so it takes everyone to be successful and to be a champion. It takes the entire university, it takes the entire administration, all of your players, their families, and the support of a great area.
How about we come back, talk a little bit more about it on the other side of this break.
Sounds good.
He's the head coach of the Colonels, Seth Thibodeaux. We'll be back with more of the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, in just a moment.
You may know Thibodaux Regional was the first hospital in the region to take a leadership role in athletics.